Ukrainian soldiers are in the center of Kherson city after Russian troops retreated. Ukrainian forces apparently encountered little to no resistance. That's according to social media images, and residents of Kherson city have turned out in droves, welcoming their troops and wrapping themselves in Ukrainian flags, as you can see on the screen. The Russian Defense Ministry, meanwhile, says its forces and equipment have withdrawn from the west bank of the Dnipro River in the Kherson region. That's considered one of the biggest setbacks for Moscow since the start of its illegal war in Ukraine. For more context now, CNN military analyst Mark Hertling, who is also a former commanding general of the US Army, Europe and 7th Army, joins us now. General Hertling, always great to have you on a show. Your perspective at this moment, how pivotal is this both for Ukraine and, of course, for Russia too?
Well, first, Julia, if I may, you mentioned how it was an easy fight. It was an easy fight yesterday, but the Ukrainian army has been just unbelievably hardened by this fight, which they started in the Kherson region probably close to about 6 to 8 weeks ago. But they've been fighting on two fronts, which have complemented each other, both in Kherson, but also in the northern part of the northeast part of the country near the Donetsk region. They have been brilliant in terms of their operational plan and their conduct of the events that have led up to this, pushing the Russian forces to the eastern bank of the Dnipro River. And it was certainly a victorious day yesterday as they went into the city of Kherson. There were many people that were concerned that it might be a ruse or a trap by the Russian forces. It was certainly not. And now they have reoccupied the entire oblast of Kherson, which means there's a better control over Crimea. It will harm the Russian efforts to fight in Mykolaiv and several other places, but it's also just a damning defeat for the Russian army, and it's not over yet.
That was going to be my next question. What's your greatest concern at this moment? The Russian officials are saying, look, we've taken all our equipment, all our soldiers have left. Now, I know there's concerns certainly from the Ukrainian side that there could be military forces left, but simply wearing plain clothes, so they're not recognizable. There's still the threat perhaps of missile fire into the region. What's your greatest concern for the Ukrainians, for citizens and soldiers?
Yeah, my biggest concern is that there are certainly Russian forces left on the the western bank of the Dnipro, and they may be camouflaging themselves in civilian uniform. There's already been several hundreds captured that have been put in civilian uniform. So what we're going to see is a completion of the offensive operation by Ukraine, and then they're rapidly going to go on the defense on that western bank. There will be some Russians that will be taken prisoners. Truthfully, Julia, I think it's going to be in the thousands rather than in the hundreds that Russia left on the other side of the Dnipro River. So Ukraine will prove themselves in terms of their humanitarian treatment of these Russian prisoners of war, but then the Ukrainian forces will be facing how do they get across the Dnipro River and continue their assault on Russian forces. You know, that river looks like a very narrow river on any map that you see, but there are places in that river outside of the capital city of Kherson, where that's over a mile wide. So it almost becomes like an amphibious assault. Think D-Day operations, and especially given the fact that the Russians blew bridges behind them, and the Ukrainians also blew bridges to prevent the Russians from escaping. So there's not a whole lot of great ways to get across that river that flows for hundreds of miles and is in some cases over a mile wide.
Yeah, I mean, there's huge questions for the coming hours and days, and that's just a few of them. General Hertling, we also heard, I should just point out to our viewers, officially now, I think, from President Zelensky on his social media account, he said, ours. Kherson is ours. A huge moment, I think, for him as well, in addition to the people and to the forces. And speaking of forces, it is Veterans Day today. I want to thank you, General Hertling, Mark, for your service and for those, of course, that have provided service all over the world. Talk to me about your work with the American Battlefield Monuments Commission too. I believe this is in tribute to all those who've served abroad, US troops abroad.
Well, Yes, Julia, the American Battle Monuments Commission, we call it ABMC, maintains 26 American cemeteries all over the world outside of the United States. So your international viewers are probably close to one of our cemeteries, somewhere in Europe, in Tunisia, in North Africa, in Asia. These are places that the Americans say, we don't want to occupy any ground, but we just would ask the local governments to give us ground to bury our dead. And there are over 150,000 US military buried in these foreign cemeteries around the world. And it is a testimony to the United States that we care for these cemeteries with just the utmost efficiency and effectiveness. And they are beautiful places to visit. They not only have the graves for remembrance, but they also have great architecture, great grounds. And I would ask any of your listeners today to perhaps, if there is one of these sites nearby, to visit and to see the beauty of these sites and how the United States remembers their soldiers.
Yes. Great to have you with us, and thank you for all the work that you do and have done in the past. General Hertling, thank you once again.
Always a pleasure, Julia. Thank you.
Thank you.